Me, 31/F, with my husband, 32/M, of 4 years, got a text from an unknown number accusing my husband of cheating. Need advice? Threw away. I have been married to my husband for 4 years, been together for 7. I'd definitely say we have a great relationship. Recently, I just got a new position at my company with a nice pay increase and am so fortunate for this opportunity as my husband and I have always lived within our means. All in all, it was great timing as we just had a baby last year and now we are able to provide for him the way we had always planned on doing. With that being said, around the same time, my husband was up for a promotion at his company, but wound up not getting the position. I only include this detail because it seems this was around the time I guess I could say I noticed him being a little more distant with me. However, it really doesn't cause me much concern as I'm sure if it was anything, it was just that he was no longer the breadwinner in the family as he imagined he'd always be. The thing of it is we just get along so well, even though we just had our first child together last year, we always still make time for each other, which is why I'm so confused by the situation currently ongoing. Last night I received a text from an unknown number while he and I were asleep. It woke me up, and honestly when I was first processing the information I thought I was having a nightmare. This is what the message said: "Hi. Listen, I know you don't know me and I know you don't have any cause to believe me, but last weekend I was with your husband at the bachelor party he went to. We wound up hooking up at a hotel after the party. I thought he was single at the time, but the other day I found out that wasn't the case. I was determined to find out your number so that I could let you know. I'm sorry." Obviously, I was rocked. My husband did indeed go to a bachelor party last weekend, so the circumstances matched to what they were. I immediately woke him up and demanded an explanation for this, but he denied everything. I decided at this point it's best for me to calm down as I didn't know anything about the text or the situation at all and a level head would be better at analyzing anything. We read the text again and I had missed before that the text was sent from a fake number through one of those texting apps, which was disclosed in the message. Coincidentally, my husband lost his phone the day before the bachelor party and had suspected it had been stolen while he was at work or somewhere during us doing errands. If someone stole his phone while he was at work, they definitely knew about the bachelor party so they could have sent the text to start some poop, as sadistic as it sounds. I honestly believe there's no way my husband would cheat on me, as nothing had ever led me to believe that he would do something like that. Not long after I showed him the text, we went back to sleep and figured we would discuss this more in the morning. I decided to text the number back and try and get more information from this person. I asked them what hotel they stayed at, what their name was, etc., but they were extremely ambiguous with their response and suddenly stopped talking when I asked to discuss this over the phone after I said I knew it was a fake number. Later, I went to check my emails from work in the morning and noticed that my computer had been wiped. This is the second time in 6 months that it's happened. I'm kinda afraid that whoever has access to his phone may now have access to our computer. I talked to my mother about the whole situation and she thinks that I'm insane for discounting the message and even suggesting that this is a malicious attempt by someone we know to interfere in our marriage. I still wholeheartedly disagree with her as I would never suspect him of cheating on me. So what do you guys think? Am I wrong for being convinced that he didn't cheat, or am I being naive? TL, Doctor, received a text from an unknown, fake number saying they slept with my husband at the bachelor party he went to. Don't think he did, but not entirely sure. Hi guys, I promise to love you if you like, comment, and subscribe. Your computer was almost certainly wiped by your husband. And I can't imagine the phone was accidentally lost. What's more likely? That some hacker mastermind is screwing with you, or that your husband is screwing around on you and covering his tracks? BF, 28M. Kept hanging with and touching random girl at a party I was also at, 26F. I've been seeing my boyfriend for about 8 months. We're both pretty outgoing and adventurous, but this was the first real party we were both going to at the same time. It was a Halloween party, so we were dressed up as 2 characters from the same show and had some drinks before leaving. We planned to get a little silly but not blackout silly since we both had to be up the next day. Anyways, Long story short, he kept drinking when we got there, which was fine until I saw him stumble. I told him he's silly enough and we're having fun, and him drinking more would mean he'd be falling all over. He agreed but apparently kept drinking. Anyways, we danced on and off for maybe an hour. When he went to the bathroom and didn't come back for like 30 minutes, I was fine and just kept dancing myself in with other people I knew. When I looked over and he's chatting up some chick. I'm like, okay, maybe he knows her. I look back and she's dancing on the stairs and he's slapping her butt. I turn red and hold myself back from going over there and think about what I'm gonna do. One person I met at the party looks over and is like, isn't he with you? And I'm like, not really, to cover, but like an idiot, I'm dressed to match him. Anyways, I wait for an opening and I go over and tell him I'm leaving, I'll see him later, as if we didn't come together, and he follows me out. Some guy follows us and starts yelling at him about him trying to touch butt, and my BF is so silly he doesn't even respond, and I just grab him and we leave. I put him in the back of a cab and I sit in front and we both don't say anything. The plan was for him to spend the night since he lives really far, so we get to my place and I put him to bed and sleep on the couch. I told him in the morning I didn't want to see him anymore and he claims he doesn't remember anything. I tell him I don't care because never have I felt so disrespected and humiliated, and I'm not dealing with this. The trust is gone. Not only that, I was dressed all hot and he barely paid any attention to me all night, so now my confidence is also just shattered. He's very apologetic but also saying he was just too silly and didn't know what he was doing, so I shouldn't hold it against him. My question is, I'm not overreacting for breaking up with him, right? And also, how do I stop feeling like complete trash after this humiliating experience? I can barely leave my app at the moment and my friends are texting me about this too, and I'd what to say. TLDR, BF hung out with and slapped this girl's butt at a party I was also at. We broke up. He claims he doesn't remember and was just too silly and is very apologetic. I'd say you were spot on. There is no charm in being with someone who cannot control their alcohol intake to the point where they don't know what they are doing. That's not drama I would want in my life. He's 28, not 18. He knows what he does when he drinks, and if he doesn't, he shouldn't be drinking. I, 28F, caught my husband, 27M, flirting with one of our mutual friends. What to do now? My husband and I have been married for about a year and together for 6. A month ago I caught him playing footsies with one of our mutual friends, 24F, at a get-together. After several discussions he admitted that he had done this before one other time and that the two of them had been talking about polyamory together. She already has an open relationship with her partner. I stated that I was not interested in opening the relationship and asked him to talk to her about limiting touching and not texting her as much. He doesn't have as many friends he can talk to since the pandemic, and so I didn't want to limit it entirely. However, since then he has continued to talk to her almost daily, and whenever we hang out I noticed that she was still very touchy with him, even if he didn't reciprocate, so I asked him to speak with her again. A couple of nights ago we were hanging out with a couple other friends and she put her legs on his lap while we were playing a game. He didn't engage but also didn't ask her to move them. I didn't want to make a scene, so I didn't say anything, but we had a talk again that night. I want him to cut her off entirely, but he thinks that is unfair, especially since he doesn't have a lot of other friends. I'm not sure what to do from here. TL, doctor, my husband was flirting with a mutual friend. After multiple conversations about boundaries, I still find that they are overstepping regularly. Not sure what to do from here. She throws her legs on his lap right in front of you and he does nothing. I would have thrown her legs out the window. You're married. Forget trying to get him to talk to her, cause it clearly hasn't worked. You need to confront her yourself and tell her to back off. She's basically trying to convince your husband into polyamory and he's entertaining the spook by not telling her to FCK off right away. He can find other friends. This poop is crossing way too many boundaries. I, 32F, saw a text from my boyfriend's, 31 meters, X, 30F. I was using his iPad at home. He gave me permission, when I saw a cryptic text come through. I tried to slide it up because I wasn't gonna snoop, but then it opened. It was from his ex. They were talking about going on vacation together for his birthday. I tried not to scroll through their other texts, but it seemed like they still update each other on big life stuff. I'm not sure she knows about me because he's not active on social media. Either way, he shouldn't be allowing her to talk to him like this, and he shouldn't be engaging back. Should I confront him? This is pretty sleazy behavior. We've been together for a year. They broke up several years ago and dated for 4.5 years. TL, doctor, should I confront him about seeing a text exchange between him and his ex? He's allowed to speak to her if he wants to, but going on vacation together behind your back? Please confront him.